Captions are indeed one of the best tools to enhance understanding. They provide clarity, improve accessibility, and allow people to follow along, regardless of language or hearing ability.
Join me as I take on the challenge of creating a mini masterpiece using only 2 colors. Today, we're pushing the boundaries of creativity by exploring the possibilities of art making with a severely limited palette. Can we really create something stunning, something that deserves to be called a masterpiece, using only 2 colors? I'm excited to find out, and I hope you are too. One of the most common misconceptions about art is that you need a vast array of colors to create something truly remarkable. We've all been led to believe that the more colors we use, the more interesting, vibrant, and dynamic our artwork will be. But what if I told you that's not entirely true? In fact, some of the most striking and effective artworks are those that use restraint, simplicity, and a carefully curated color palette. Think about it, when you're working with a full palette, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of choosing colors and mixing them together. But when you're limited to just 2 colors, you're forced to think outside the box, to experiment, and to push yourself creatively. You have to think about how you can use those 2 colors to create contrast, depth, and interest, and that's where the real magic happens. By limiting ourselves to just 2 colors, we're forced to focus on composition, on value, on texture, and on all the other elements that truly make an artwork great. We have to rely on our skills, our imagination, and our creativity to bring our vision to life. And that, my friends, is where the real challenge lies. So, how do I go about selecting the 2 colors I'll be working with today? For me, it's all about instinct. I like to choose colors that speak to me, that evoke a mood or an emotion, and that complement each other in some way. Today, I've chosen a rich, deep blue and a warm, creamy yellow. These colors couldn't be more different, and yet, they have a certain harmony to them that I just can't ignore. As I begin to mix and blend these colors, I start to see all sorts of possibilities. I can create a deep, oceanic blue by layering the blue over itself, or I can add a touch of warmth with a hint of yellow. I can create contrast by using the blue as a bold, graphic element against the softer, more subtle yellow. The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes this challenge so exhilarating. As I start to block in the composition, I can feel the energy building. The blue and yellow start to dance across the canvas, creating a sense of movement and flow that's just irresistible. I'm not thinking about the fact that I'm only using 2 colors, I'm thinking about the story I want to tell, the emotions I want to evoke, and the mood I want to create. And then, suddenly, it happens. The masterpiece comes together in a rush of color and energy, and I'm left standing back, awestruck by what I've created. The blue and yellow have combined to create something truly remarkable, something that's greater than the sum of its parts. As I step back and admire my handiwork, I'm reminded that creativity is all about pushing boundaries, taking risks, and embracing the unknown. By limiting ourselves to just 2 colors, we're forced to think outside the box, to experiment, and to trust ourselves and our abilities. Thanks for joining me on this creative journey, everyone. I hope you've been inspired to try your own 2-color challenge. Share your creations with me in the comments below, and don't forget to check out my other videos for more artistic inspiration. Today, I want to show you how incredibly beautiful and versatile monochrome art can be. By limiting ourselves to just 2 colors, we can actually unlock a world of creative possibilities. It's amazing what we can achieve with a little bit of imagination and experimentation. I'm sure many of you might think that working with just black and white paint is restrictive, that it's not possible to create something vibrant and eye-catching. But I'm here to tell you that that's just not true. In fact, I think it's exactly the opposite. Sometimes, when we have too many options, it can be overwhelming and actually hinder our creativity. By simplifying our palette, we're forced to think outside the box and get really creative with our techniques and ideas. Take, for example, the way we can use texture to add depth and interest to our piece. By combining smooth, blended areas with rougher, more impasto textures, we can create a sense of dimensionality that's really engaging. And then there's the way we can play with contrast, using light and dark to create a sense of drama and tension. It's amazing how much emotional resonance we can convey using just 2 colors. One of the things I love about working with black and white is the way it forces us to focus on the essence of our subject matter. Without the distraction of color, we're left with the pure, unadulterated form and shape of our composition. It's really liberating, in a way, to strip everything back to its simplest elements and just let the forms speak for themselves. Okay, enough talking, let's get started on our mini masterpiece. The first step is to prime our canvas with a coat of gesso, just to give us a nice, smooth surface to work on. Next, I'm going to start blocking in some rough shapes, just to get a sense of the overall composition. I'm not too worried about precision at this stage, I just want to get a feel for the flow of the piece. As I start to build up layers of paint, I'll begin to think about how I can use texture to add interest to the piece. Maybe I'll add some rough, impasto strokes in the background, or use a palette knife to create some smooth, blended areas in the foreground. The key is to experiment and have fun with it, to just let go and see what happens. One of the most important things to remember when working with black and white is to think about the value structure of your piece. By value, I mean the lightness or darkness of your colors. It's amazing how much depth and dimension you can create just by varying the value of your colors. For example, if you want to create a sense of recession, you can use darker values in the background and lighter values in the foreground. As I continue to build up layers of paint, I'll start to think about how I can add some finishing touches to really elevate the piece. Maybe I'll add some subtle highlights with a small brush, or use a rag to lift off some of the paint and create a sense of softness. The key is to be patient and take your time, to really think about what each stroke is doing to the overall piece. And there we have it, our mini masterpiece is complete. I'm really thrilled with how this piece has turned out. The black and white color scheme has given it a sense of timelessness and sophistication that I just love. And I hope you can see just how much creativity and emotion we can convey using only 2 colors. I hope you've enjoyed this journey with me, and I hope it's inspired you to try creating some monochrome art of your own. Remember, it's not about the number of colors you have, it's about how you use them. What do you guys think about monochrome art? Do you have any favorite artists or pieces that inspire you? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more creative content. In today's video, you'll learn how to paint like a pro using only black and white to create mini masterpieces. Many aspiring artists struggle with color choices and overcomplicating their artwork. I totally get it, with so many colors to choose from, it can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that by limiting your palette to just 2 colors, you can actually create more impactful art? It's true. Black and white may seem like a restrictive color scheme, but trust me, it's incredibly liberating. By focusing on contrast, shading, and composition, you can create depth and dimension in your artwork that would be impossible with a rainbow of colors. Plus, it's amazing how much emotion and mood you can convey with just 2 colors. Black and white artwork can be moody and dramatic, or light and playful, the possibilities are endless. And the best part, you don't need to be a skilled artist to get started. Just a willingness to experiment and have fun. One of the biggest benefits of working with a limited color palette is that it forces you to think creatively. You can't rely on bright colors to grab attention, so you have to focus on other elements like texture, pattern, and composition. This is where the real magic happens, because when you strip away the distractions of color, you're left with the essence of what makes a piece of art great.